Hey guys, it's Infidel 1258 here. I wanted to do a video to answer Andre B's question that we touched on in yesterday's frequently asked questions with 1258, but we couldn't get into because the video was running long and the software was cutting out. So it's a huge question, and I know he's not the only one asking it. So I'm going to read it here now, and then we're going to break it down and we're going to get into each individual point. The question is this: can you do a video on maximizing investment into the game considering the remaining SPS airdrops? What is better, buying SPS token, cards, land plots, DC? Does it make sense to invest now or to wait for new packs? Okay, so SPS, cards, land plots, DC, or wait for new packs. That's 5 different options, and he's right. Those are the main options for what you could do with this game right now and how you could get started and get invested. And if you're new to the channel, what is this game? What are we talking about? And why would you want to? Well, we're talking about Splinterlands. It's an amazing video game that rewards you for your time and attention. When you play it, you literally get paid cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency is meaningful in terms of value. Not to mention you get NFTs, cards, non-fungible tokens that are one of a kind and limited in number, therefore scarce. And those values on those cards are going through the roof right now and will in the future because of the scarcity and the increased demand. You want some proof of any of that? We go over here to Peak Monsters and we can look at things like the number of battles played on the system. Yesterday there was 2.3 million battles played. A month before that there was 410,000 played. That type of growth is what? It's 5x, 6x? It's six times in a month. So the number of players must be growing. Let's go look. The number of accounts. Today, there is 123,000 active players. Just today. A month ago, 19,000. That's 6 times. You want to see more data? We can look at spellbook purchases. The spellbooks are the $10 packs of cards that you buy when you're just getting started to open up and give you access to all of the lower level monsters. Yesterday they sold 8,000 spellbooks. A month ago they sold 1,600. By every single type of metric, market cap, market, token prices, everything is going up on this because the number of players is going up on this. This game is beautiful because first of all, it's fun, but second of all, it's rewarding you with assets that are scarce. And that scarcity combined with the increased demand is a recipe for appreciation. So that's why you should care, and that's what the game is. I'd show you a battle, but we can't because the servers are down right now. They're doing an update for Guild Brawls, which is a separate video. We won't talk about that today. But getting back to his question, so these are the methods that you could invest. Which one makes the most sense right now? Let's start with SPS. So if you wanted to get involved and you like what you're seeing, and you want to start investing with your SPS, perhaps you could do a couple things. You could go and you could buy SPS. Right now, it's going to cost you around 41 cents per SPS. You could also, as you can see, it previously reached a high of $1.26. So that price isn't particularly high. It's also not, particularly low because it has been close to 20. What was the lowest? 24, 24, 23. So it's been in the 20s. So we're quite a bit higher. I was buying it at 20 and I was selling it up here, and I've been buying more and staking the whole time. So I've got lots of SPS now. I can't show you that because the server is down, but I've got over 10,000 SPS, and I'm a firm believer that this token, which is each token is like a stake in the ownership, in the sense that it will enable you to have a vote on the governance of the game in the future. And the developers have explained that what that might look like is somebody will propose an alteration to the game, and it might be how rewards are calculated at the end of the season, or it might be a nerf of a really overpowered summoner or monster card, or price changes on whether we can use credits to buy quest potions or not. These types of decisions are going to be decided by people who have governance tokens, namely SPS. So buying SPS and holding SPS is a smart play if you think Splinterlands is an amazing game that's going to continue to grow as it's been growing currently, as I just showed you. Or if you like the game a lot and you kind of don't care if it grows, but you want to have a voice in its future development and the direction that the development goes. So that's two amazing reasons why. But the third, and I think to answer his question very directly, the third reason to buy it would be that you expect this token to go up in value. And I would say that nothing's certain, but man, for 40 cents, I would think, given the likelihood of this game succeeding, which in my opinion is extremely high, I think this token is a steal at these prices. And I think we will exceed $1. And, who knows, is $5 reasonable? Maybe. Is that a few years away? Perhaps. But I don't care because I've been here for 3 years and I've been playing this game and I love this game and I'm gonna be here in 3 years more. So right now, this game has changed my life financially. I'm convinced that by the next bull run, I'm still going to be here, and it's going to have transformed the magnitude of what it's done for me financially is going to be significantly greater than it is now. So I'm assuming that. I could be wrong, but that's my strong and firm opinion. So I'm a strong believer that owning SPS is a wise thing to do. Again, assuming you agree that this game is fun and successful, and that you expect that success to grow and continue. If those two things are true in your heart, then I would say holding this token makes a lot of sense. Plus, with SPS, you can stake it. Staking it is something you do in the Splinterlands.com website. And again, the server's down, so I can't show you. But if you went there and you clicked on the SPS token, you can open up a sub window. The sub window has a staking. You can stake whatever you buy, and the staking is held on a 4-week basis. So once you stake, the cooldown period is 4 weeks. You'll get 20 if you stake your tokens. If you stake 100 tokens, and then you immediately decide I don't want to stake those tokens anymore. After 1 week, you'll get 25 back. After another week, you'll get 25 back. The third week, 25 back, and after the fourth week, you'll get your last 25 back. So that's how staking works. But the rewards currently on staking are about 170% per annum. So that's huge, and that's normal for staking related coins. They always come out and they got massive inflation. And then what happens is tons of people start staking, and the inflation gets spread out across. It brings down, the more people staking, the algorithm lowers the amount offered to those staking. It's like they really want to incentivize you to stake, but then when tons of people are staking, they don't really care, and they just let the rewards diminish. So we're seeing that, and it's going to keep diminishing. So don't buy SPS thinking you're going to get 100%, 170% on whatever you buy. Probably in the end, 10% inflation is going to be expected from staking. And then another thing is that having SPS tokens staked against your account in the future will enable you to earn SPS during battles. So that's another form of earning that this game will offer to people who had the vision to own SPS tokens. So that's a lot of reasons, and that might even be its own video by itself in most situations, but I really want to answer Andre fully. So we're now done with Splinter Shards, but that is my thorough argument for why I think this token is going places, and I think owning some of it makes a lot of sense, especially if you believe, like I do, that this game is going places. Okay, so let's move on. What did he talk about next? Cards. Of course, I think cards are an amazing investment. I bought something like $5,000 or $7,000 worth of cards, and they are now worth over $100,000. And that's with me grinding and playing the game and earning free cards along the way, and then selling certain cards that were overpriced, only to reinvest that value into other cards that were cheaper, and then watching those appreciate, and then selling those, and then flipping, and so on, to the point where I've grown my account to $100,000 US. And so just yesterday, as a very clear you know, the financial opportunity within these cards. Yesterday, I posted a video about gold foil cards and how some of them were particularly cheap. Right now, the cheapest one is the Harvester, which is a good card. Marrow's Ghost gets no love, another cheap card. Chain Spinner, Bargain Spider. These are the 4 cheapest gold foil cards in the game right now, in the marketplace. And yesterday, the 4 that were there included the Magma Troll, which I happen to think is an excellent card. So I went through and bought like 10 or 12 of these, a lot of them, maybe more. They were about $8 each. And now look at this, the price for one individual BCX is $25. So that's the sort of appreciation that can happen in this game. And you might say I got lucky, but I could tell you other examples like a Lord Onyx, or sorry, Onyx Sentinel, or actually every single card. Like my value on my deck went from 5,000 US dollars to 100,000. Why? Because as I pointed out earlier, these NFTs are limited in number. There's only 11 Magma Trolls on the market in the whole world. There's only 11 being sold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's every Magma Troll in the entire world. Amongst, how many active accounts did we say? Yet there is now 123,000 active accounts as of yesterday. So if even 10 of them want a Magma Troll, a gold foil Magma Troll, the number of Magma Trolls is gone. There's not one more. And so that demand is so massively larger than the possible supply. Even if every Magma Troll was available on the market, and they are of course not, the price just trends upward because of this clear lack of supply and an obvious growing demand. So yes, buying cards is an amazing thing to do, but it costs a lot of money. Like I spent $300 yesterday, and I happened to have that because I sold a different card that had really appreciated. But you maybe don't have that luxury. You don't have $300 just burning a hole in your pocket. How are you going to get started on something like buying cards? You can. There's some cheap cards in here, and you might want to look at regular, not gold foil. And you might want to just focus on cards that you're actually going to play with, because that'll give you the double benefit of increasing your winnability while simultaneously allowing you to accumulate some of these assets that are going to appreciate with time. But clearly buying cards is more difficult for somebody just getting started, that's going to have, $100 to spend, period, than it is for me. Okay, so yes, buying cards is an amazing investment opportunity, especially good cards that you can win with and that you will play the game with. But I think when we compare that to SPS tokens, which haven't really appreciated at all, they're not even above their all-time high. I would argue SPS is probably a better investment than cards for most people. Like if you had $100, land plots, again, so exciting, and again, it's exceedingly rare. I think there are. I've got a. The land plots are currently selling for in the neighborhood of, well, this guy's buying one right now. He's buying one land plot and he's offering 851 Hive tokens. Each Hive token's worth 50 cents. So that's like, he's offering 425 US dollars. So I could sell my one plot and have 425 US dollars in my pocket now. I paid $15 for my land tokens. That's insane. However, they are never going to make more land. Never. Both of the developers have independently said they are never going to make more land. So, but not only is it scarce, the functionality that is being suggested and implied from the developers, and again, it's not released yet. Land is not yet. I hold my tokens, but it's kind of like cryptocurrency. It's not actually a piece of land that I can go visit in the game. That is coming. That functionality is coming. And if it does come, then along with it, we're going to be able to harvest resources off those land. What is that going to be worth? It's going to allow us to mint potions, which are NFTs that we can use in the game to become stronger and climb higher. What is that worth? can you sell those? Are they going to be um, a means to another revenue source within this game that already rewards you for your time and attention? I think the answer is yes, they are going to be another revenue source. And I think everyone who has land is going to be exceedingly excited. Like, I mean, this $500, I wouldn't sell one token for $500. Um, and Agrod, one of the two founders of this game, he keeps saying, and I love it, he says, with regard to land, people ask, are there going to be more land tokens? And they say it over and over and over again in every AMA. And he always says, no, um, there isn't enough land for everyone, like panic, like something like that. It's like rush. And it's funny because he jokes that he's like the FOMO officer for Splinterlands, but in truth, there just isn't enough land for everybody to have one. I think there is 100,000 land tokens total. If we go over to the token market within Hive Engine, we can see plots. There is a total supply of 100,000. I own 101 of them. I'm not selling mine. This game is going to be a retirement plan for me, and I'm going to be here in 3 years, and people are going to be astonished at what this game has done for my life, and hopefully for your life too. But it starts with understanding the scarcity and the income generating potential of each of these assets: SPS, cards, land, and then it's understanding your own personal financial opportunity. Not everybody has $500 to go buy one land plot. And even if you did, would one land plot appreciate so dramatically that it would change your life? I don't know that that's the case. If you could afford 100, I would say that's amazing. But holy moly, that's a lot of money. So the long and the short of my answer with regard to land is that I'm extremely excited about land, but I would be really hesitant to tell someone to go and buy land at $500 a plot, not because I don't think it's going to go higher, but with every type of investment, my question isn't just, is it a good price? My question is it a good deal? And that has to do with that question we talk about a lot on this channel, which is price versus value. Price is not the same thing as value. Price is what you pay and value is what you get. So with respect to land, I think probably $500 is, a small number for what it will eventually be priced at. And I think the value will be growing and growing and growing. But we have yet to see that. And so there is some risk around it. Not to mention, so we don't know what the built-in rewards will amount to with land. We know that they're saying there's going to be rewards from owning it, that we're going to be able to harvest resources off it, and that's going to be a source of revenue. But how substantive is it? I can't tell you that. And so I really can't in good, with a clean conscience say you should go and buy land. But I can say that for $15 a token when I bought it, I'm so glad I bought it. Not just because it appreciated, but because I expect big things from it. And so when it comes to the issue of land, I expect big things for it, but for $500 a token, I wonder if that question of value versus price, is there a different investment here in the number of investments you've raised that might be more appropriate to maximizing, as you pointed out, as to maximizing your investment? Land could go up 10x, maybe it could go up 100x, but some of those cards that I just showed you, I just sold a dragon card for $1,600. It cost me $40. What's that? That's not 10x. I don't even know. It's an enormous game. So cards can be explosively rewarding. SPS token it's like I said, it's going to give you that inflation from staking. It's going to give you battle rewards when you stake it against your own account. And it's going to get price appreciation because I think that the token is going to go up. So far, I'm leaning towards saying SPS token. Let's keep going and see how they all compare. DEC This one's a pretty easy one. And if you want a detailed and thorough explanation on this one, go back and watch my video specifically on DEC. It was called like DEC price appreciation. And in that video, I go into detail explaining algorithmic inflation, which is the inflation that the system is designed and written into DEC. DEC, if you don't know, is the in-game cryptocurrency that is awarded to winners who play this game. It's a token that's issued, that's inflated, that's printed daily. And that inflation is controlled, the rate of that inflation is controlled by an algorithm. That's algorithmic inflation. So when does the algorithm increase production or reduce production? It increases production when the market price of dark energy crystals detaches from the intended peg value and when DEC is more valuable than it should be. And it decreases DEC rewards when DEC is less valuable than it should be. So right now in dark energy crystals, we go over to live coin watch, we can see that dark energy crystals are almost a penny per DEC. So it's something like 130 DEC equals $1. And it's supposed to be 1000 DEC equals $1. And so that difference is noticed by the system and by the algorithm, which then increases the production of DEC so that it can saturate the market and in so doing bring the price back down to the intended stable value of 1000 to $1. Now, if it's supposed to do that, how did we get here, right? That's a question you might ask. We got here because of the whole SBS airdrop, which, if you don't know, is rewarding players of this game who own content within the game, whether it's monsters or packs or land or DEC. So if you're holding a bunch of DEC, you're going to get daily SBS airdrops. And so that's what people are doing. They're holding on to their DEC. None of them did so thinking that they were going to get a price appreciation on the DEC. They just wanted a cheap way to get more SBS. And by buying DEC, they were getting cheaper SBS. But as the price of DEC has gone up and up and up, some of those people are starting to sell, because what has happened is, yes, they're getting their SBS rewards still, but the SPS rewards are no longer commensurate with the price appreciation that they've seen with the DEC, and people are becoming incentivized to sell their DEC. So if your token used to be 1000 to $1 and now it's 130 DEC to $1, you've gained a lot of purchasing power. And then some of these people are saying, wow, that's a lot more purchasing power. Why don't I buy some cards with that? Why don't I buy some skins with that? Why don't I buy some whatever with that? And then, because it's so much more money now. And so as that happens, and simultaneously as the system prints more and more DEC daily to bring this thing down, this price comes down. In my mind, it's a matter of certainty that will happen. And you can see that the trend, it went up and up and up and up and up. And it kind of got into, like a week ago, it peaked out at like just over an eighth of a penny. No, sorry, 8/10 of a penny. And now we've come down, 1/10 of a penny, but that's pretty significant. What is that? 15% reduction in the price. So the the DEC printing is working. The algorithmic inflation is doing what it's supposed to, and this price will probably continue to peter off slowly for the entire duration of the SBS airdrop, because people are going to see that they could just go out and buy SBS now, right? Because their DEC is inflated so much, they can just go buy SBS for a better price with DEC. If that's what you want, just go buy it. And then also, the SPS inflation rates are dropping, which makes it less incentive for people to seek SPS in the first place, because at first it was 500% staking rewards. Now it's 170% staking rewards. Some people might be saying, okay, I don't really care anymore. 500% was amazing, but now 170, maybe not. So there's a bunch of forces at work here that are all acting upon DEC to bring this back to a more normative state of around 1,000 DEC to $1. And that is not a bug, it's a feature. It's the intended design of this coin. And as a result of that, I would never bet on DEC. I would never buy DEC for the hoping for price appreciation. In my opinion, that's a bad idea. I wouldn't do it. I don't do it. When I get DEC rewards from selling a card or flipping a monster or season or daily rewards, I spend those DEC tokens almost as fast as I can get them. Because I want to get assets that are the exact opposite of DEC. Because DEC is neither rare nor scarce. They print more of it all the time, and the inflation can be increased. But when we look at these cards again, these are both scarce and rare and limited, and they cannot be printed again. So I take DEC, which is destined to become inflated, to spend it on assets that are destined to be price appreciated because they can never be inflated. In fact, these are deflationary in nature because they get burnt, they get merged together to form larger copies. This copy has 8 units inside of it, this one has 5, this one has 14. They can never be separated again. These 8 cards built into this one monster can never be separated again, no matter what. So that is deflationary. There are fewer and fewer copies, not more and more. So again, I'm leaning towards SBS or cards as far as what I would say to you today, August 26, 2021. And lastly, does it make sense to wait for new packs? And this is a doozy of a question. The question has to do, there's so many components to it. But if you just start by coming over to splintercards.com and you go look under the tools, you open up pack value, which we're already in here. You can see the pack value for any of the boosters that they've ever released: Alpha, Beta, Orb, Untamed, Dice. Let's look at Untamed, because that was the last full set, and they're going to do one full set every year. If you're wondering how often do they release new cards, they do one major set release annually, and they do smaller set releases like Dice or Orb more frequently. And they haven't really said how many times they're going to do these little packs like Dice, but they kind of implied that they would be willing to do more than one a year, depending on demand. But they're only really intending to do one major launch per year, like Untamed, or the upcoming Chaos Legion is going to be one of those major releases like Untamed. So let's look at Untamed, because it's the most recent data. Let's look at how much one pack of Untamed costs. It used to be $2 when you bought it from Splinterlands. Let's see what that would be worth today. And this is going to calculate based on, this is going to give me an answer based on the marketplace valuations for the cards that are eligible to drop in that pack. So the Untamed cards that have a percentage of populating in your pack have specific prices on the market. This system can tell me the likelihood of receiving each of them, and then the value of the pack if I get them, presuming I get them. We're back. So Splinter Cards tells you that one Untamed pack is worth $37 US, and that's estimated value of a basic pack with 4 commons and 1 rare and 1 regular, or with regular foil. $6.24. Assuming all you got was the basic cards, and there was no gold foils, or there was no legendaries, you're talking $6.25. But of course, there's a likelihood in every single pack that you're going to get legendaries or gold foils, and so the estimated value is much higher. This is what they're saying it's likely to be worth: $37. So it cost $2, and a year later it's set $37. That's because the price of those cards is appreciating constantly, because again, they're limited in supply and the demand goes up when the user base goes up. So this is very likely what we can expect within a year of the release of Chaos Legion. But in addition to this, for every single pack of Chaos Legion cards you buy, just like every single Untamed pack you bought, you will receive 1 potential airdrop. The airdrops are Um, I couldn't find a full breakdown of the untamed airdrops. And when I last looked, let's see if the website is working now, because it wasn't when I started this video. I'm going to quickly search untamed monsters in the marketplace, and we're going to look at the legendaries, because these are the airdrops. 14 of these guys. I'm going to go regular. All of these summoners, Scarred Llama Mage, Jotun, Byzantine Kitty, Kron the Undying, Mimosa, Phantom of the Abyss, Chancius, Cornelius, maybe not Cornelius. Which other ones? Deep Swimmer, Magnor, Diamond Dragon, Gloridax. These were all airdrops given to people who bought packs. And so for how that works is you buy one pack, you get one lottery ticket for each of the 14 airdrops. And the system, when the airdrop happens, the system will give you a message. It'll say, you'll log in and it'll be like, new airdrop eligible. Actually, you have to come over here into the open, and it'll say, new airdrop available. Do you want to try and open it? Hit right here, and you click on it, yes. And it would say, okay, you're going to have this many chances. You bought one pack, you're going to get one chance. And then it would say yes or no, you got one or you didn't. And that'll happen every single time there's another airdrop. With Untamed, there was 14 airdrops, see? We don't know if Chaos Legion is going to offer the same number of airdrops, but we're expecting that it will. And so every single pack is going to give you 5 cards in it, and those cards appreciate, as proven by the Splinter Cards data that we showed. And then, in addition to that valuation, you can expect each pack you buy to give you an opportunity and an airdrop. And they're not bad cards. They're the best cards. They are game-defining meta cards like the ones shown here. All of these summoners, Mimosa, Chancius, Deep Swimmer, Jotun, Byzantine Kitty, Scarred Llama, each of those was given away for free to me and to you who bought Untamed packs. So yes, Chaos Legion would be an amazing investment, and I plan to buy a ton of the packs. But some considerations will be, if you buy packs in September when they're supposed to release, you're going to need to have SPS staked on your account, because they're only going to pre-sale to people who do. They haven't said how many you're going to need to have staked. So if you want to buy a lot of packs, you probably need to have a lot of SPS. And they said that the SPS stake and the pre-sale will probably be on it's a word, it's like I can't think of the word, like a bell curve kind of thing, where if there are 1,000 people that want a pre-sale and only one person has tokens staked, then they're not gonna put so much value on the staking. They're gonna allow more of an open sales. But that's not gonna happen because there's a ton of people staking. So it's actually going to come down to, they can't say you need to stake 1,000 SPS. They just need to look at it at the time of the pre-sale and see, okay, the top 100 players with staking SPS all have this amount. And they're just going to arbitrarily say, okay, that makes sense. So these people can pre-sale 100 packs, these people can pre-sale 50 packs, and so on. And if you can't play that game because you don't have enough money, you just want to focus on buying packs, I get it. So then you're going to need to wait till October. And you might well miss the first airdrop, because it's entirely possible that people like me who pre-sale the Chaos Legion packs are going to buy the full 100,000 packs. All of them gone. It's entirely possible. Especially given the number of player base that's growing and the excitement around this game. And people who do that, and I plan to be one of them, are going to have access to the first airdrop and every other airdrop. So I want to buy my packs as many as I can right up front, because I want to maximize the number of airdrops that I get. But another consideration that you need to think about when you're thinking about packs is what sort of currency are they going to accept? Are they going to accept credits? We don't think so. Are they going to accept DEC? Yes. Are they going to accept SPS? They did say they want to. They don't know if they're going to be able to, but they're going to try and set that mechanism up. So if they did accept SPS, and each SPS is worth 40 cents, and they did accept dark energy crystals, and each dark energy crystal is worth about a penny, um, what are they going to do with respect to the peg? Because remember, I already explained to you that that Splinterlands considers 1,000 DEC to equate to $1. And I already told you that 130 DEC is actually $1 on the free market. So the peg value is broken and wrong. So I'm gonna if I use DEC to go in and buy packs, how much is that going to cost me? If I go in and I buy one pack from Splinterlands, and if they sustain the peg, hear me, if they stay true to their intended peg, which they have made very clear that's their intention, their desire, then I'm going to have to spend 2,000 DEC to buy a pack, and that is equivalent to $15, 15 US dollars to buy one pack. All because the DEC ratio that upon which they accept dark energy crystals is not in alignment with the free market's analysis of DEC value. That's complicated, so if it's not clear, leave a comment below. But I'm going to stop. I'm not going to try and beat a dead horse in explaining that. And I'm hoping you guys all see what I'm showing you. If you don't, leave a comment below, and I will try to answer it. So if I have to give them 2,000 DEC per pack, that's $15. No, thank you. What if they accept SPS? Are they going to accept 2,000 SPS? Are they going to accept $2 worth of SPS? I don't know what they're going to do. And I'm going to need to figure that out along with you as they release the data and as they launch the Chaos Legion pack. But no matter what they do, I'm going to find a way to get packs, because the rewards around the price appreciation of the packs is too significant, as pointed out right here in front of you on the Splinter Cards data, but also as evidenced by the airdrops that I showed you from the legendaries. You know about these cards. They dropped, and everybody's talking about how overpowered Yodin is, and Byzantine Kitty, and Scarred Llama. These cards were free. I want to be the guy that gets those next amazing cards for free, and I know you do too. So there are so many competing questions, and there's if this, then that. But what if, oh, okay, then, and it's like this confusing, almost like a riddle where I don't really know how to answer the question, except to say in 38 minutes, which this video is taking 38 minutes, that they each have their value, and it's going to depend on how much money you have to spend, and it's going to depend on your vision for the game, and it's going to depend on whether you like to play the game or whether you just want to buy assets to speculate on it. But cards and land plots and SPS are all items that I expect to see appreciation on, and they all have utility that I expect to be developed and grown to a place where there's going to be even more things to do with them in the future than there are now. DEC, I strongly don't suggest anyone buy and hold DEC from a speculation perspective. You might want to hold some because, again, you want to do the SPS reward thing. But I would argue, why don't you just buy SPS? It makes a lot more sense, in my opinion, especially when you factor in that algorithmic inflation that's really a gravity on that price, which is always threatening to like diminish and erode your purchasing power there. And lastly, the packs. Of course, I strongly agree with the investing in packs. But do you have $100? Do you have $500? Do you have $1,000? Do you have $10,000? I don't know where you're coming from, or even if you have a deck of cards already, and if so, maybe there's one good card that would really change how you climb in rank. That could be a separate conversation. That would have to be a one-on-one situation where I'd have to analyze your whole setup so that I can give you personal advice. But just generally speaking, what I've said is exactly how I feel, and I'm not holding anything back, and I'm trying to be as open and clear as possible. To me, SPS tokens, cards and land, and packs I have to own them for me, and I will. and I'm going to continue to buy them. And even when packs launch, I'm going to buy a bunch of packs, but I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging in on the packs because they're always $2 or 2,000 DEC or whatever. Whereas cards and tokens, land plots, they're going to appreciate, depreciate, they're going to fluctuate. I'm going to buy these packs, which I expect to go much higher in value than they are for the initial purchase price. So if it's a long-term play, I'd buy packs and I'd dollar cost average in. If you really love this game, you've got some startup capital, get some SPS, get some cards, get some land. The land, I'm a little more hesitant because it's so expensive. And I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you for your amazing question. Andre, I'm going to send you 1,000 DC Seattle A player. This is because you just helped create an hour worth of content. I hope. Seattle A. There you go, my dude. I appreciate you. Thank you for your amazing question. I hope this content was helpful to you, and I know it will be helpful to a ton of other people too. So have an amazing day, and thanks, guys. God bless.